Yeah, years ago, um, Donny Adams, traveller, gypsy, had about 50 fights, 50 unlicensed fights, street fights on the cobbles, in big ground, fairgrounds, and Vic can really fight. He's had 49 fights, I think 50 fights, has 49 wins. The guy can really march on. So Roy Shaw, when he came out of prison, was a proper machine, yeah? He was muscular, where to go, didn't stop fighting in prison. He was a complete nutcase. Come out of Baltimore and this, that, and the other. There's a big thing about him him and Paul Sykes in Hull. Paul Sykes knocked him out in 12 seconds. Second fight, especially knocked him out in 15 seconds. I don't believe one word of that. Forget that. You know what Paul Sykes was like? Paul Sykes could sell a proper towel. That, as far as I'm concerned, never happened. I don't give a fuck if it's in a book. To me, it never happened. Anyway, so Roy Shaw now is going to fight Donny Adams in a big marquee when he comes out of prison for some money, good money, mate. He got, and the police stopped it because he didn't want no bare knuckles, so they put gloves on, didn't they? And the police allowed them to have gloves on to fight. So Roy Shaw gets in with Donny Adams, and he bashes Donny Adams up in the first rounds, smashes him to pieces, boy. Now Roy's raring to go. He wants Lenny McLean, he wants everybody. But now he goes to the dressing room in a caravan, goes in there to get his clothes all changed, this, that, and the other. And with what's it called it? With Joe Pyle, Alex Steen, and who walks in? Donny Adams. Donny Adams walks in to shake Roy Shaw's hand. Roy Shaw bump hits him again, knocks Donny Adams over, steams into him, and bashes him up bad. So later, about 2 years later, Roy Shaw is on a show. It isn't box on, it's one of the big shows. And you've got Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, Cliff Fields, you've got Frankie Warren, you've got Joe Pyle, Alex Steen, a few other people are all in the dressing room of one of these shows, yeah? In my times, that's how they used to do it. In the dressing rooms, talking, this, that, and the other, get it sorted out. None of this months, 2 months, 3 months later. It was all sorted out. It could be 2 weeks or a week later they'd be fighting. That's what it was like in my times, yeah? So they're in the dressing room, all talking. Now, Donny Adams, he become a referee for all these big shows. Like he's been on Clifffield shows, Lenny McLean shows, Roy Shaw, not Roy Shaw, because Roy Shaw didn't get on. My shows, loads of other people's shows. Donny Adams was one of the top referees. So when Donny Adams, before the fight, he'd go in the dressing rooms and see the fighter that who's gonna get in the ring, two fighters, and he'd talk to them. You know, like he did with me, like he did with everybody, saying, right, even though it's unlicensed fighting, there's no biting, no kicking, no elbows, no biting, none of that. No gouging out the eyes, nothing like that. All that's stopped now. It's proper Queensberry rules. If I catch anybody do it, I'll give you a warning. Well, in the unlicensed fighting, you used to get about 3 warnings. By the time the third warning comes, where you get disqualified, the guy's been smashed to pieces. You know, you've done the elbows, you've broke his nose, cut his eye, bit his ear, it's them sort of things. So it didn't really matter really, but you still get disqualified the third time, yeah? So by the time third time comes up, the geezer's knocked out on the floor, he can't move, he's smashed to pieces. But that's how it used to happen. So Donny Adams just go to the dressing room and talk to you about it, yeah? So he's walked in the dressing room, don't forget, you've got Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, Cliff Fields, Frankie Warren, Joe Pyle, Alex Steen, they're all in there. Vic Andretti, they're all in there talking about a fight that's going to happen. When it's going to happen. Roy Shaw is the first one. He's going to fight Lenny McLean on the second show. Right, well, first one, Roy Shaw beat Lenny. Now it's Lenny's time again to fight Roy Shaw. Lenny then had a word with Frankie Warren. Frankie Warren's had a word with Cliff Fields. Cliff Fields going to fight Lenny McLean later on. It's a big thing. Donny Adams walks in there to talk to his fighters about what's going to go on. Roy Shaw's there, straight away, digs Donny Adams out, yeah? Digs him right out. Donny Adams, you know, come on, boy. We've had a day, mate, you know, like, I lost to you, mate, and that's it, big respect, yeah? So Roy's right going into one, then Lenny has gone to Roy, come on, Roy, leave it out, mate, you know what I mean? You know, not aggressive, just talking, and all of a sudden, Roy and Lenny now are having loggerheads with each other. Donny Adams is trying to break it up. Roy's hit Donny Adams on the chin, knocked Donny Adams on his arse. Donny Adams is like just sitting there, but somebody, I don't know who it was Donny Adams is related, big time, to the Furies, yeah? Big time. The Furies wasn't really around in them days when I was fighting, 78, 79, them times, yeah? But whoever it was, steamed into Roy Shaw. I'm on about steamed into him, mate. And Roy Shaw put his hands up. Joe Paul, leave off. Alex Steens, Cliff Fields and Lenny, they all got around it and stopped it, yeah? But this big guy hit Roy Shaw on the chin. I don't know who he was. I think he must be one of the Furies. Could it have been Tyson Fury? Could it have been one? I don't know what it was. It could have been John Fury, Peter Fury. I don't know who it was. One of the Furies that bashed hit Roy Shaw on the chin and put him over on his arse, and it was stopped. It was quieting down. Donny Adams then walked out with this big travelling guy. So who was it? You know, who was it? I was told this story. No one seems to know who it was, but I can only think that it must be a Fury because Donny Adams is related to the Fury. So whoever it was, give me some idea of it. You might know, yeah? You might know, have some idea. Bang, bang, bang. Nice one.